Hello and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire in our Fist-Militia-led Spoil Democracy run. We're on the end of round 100 here at the beginning of the stream. We are currently winning at 32.4% victory score. We need to get to 50% before anyone else gets 25% or be 25 points above the next closest. You could take the moment here to do the math to figure out how much unclaimed victory score there is. I suspect we're starting to reach the point where there isn't much left unclaimed. At least I don't think necessarily enough to run away with the game and win the game very easily. We are at war with a major in the west, although I'm not too worried about this war. We got a pretty big gap between sort of the strategic thing that I'd be worried about losing and the enemy. We do know that they are infantry per infantry stronger than us, although that's a problem we're in the process, I believe, of solving. When the Gauss small arms are done, upgrading to that should give our infantry rough parity, although we're running a militia-led game. So the militia are going to be 20 to 30, maybe even 40 turns behind before they even start seeing any upgrades to those units. And then even once they start upgrading, again, we've got a lot of them. It's going to take a while for them all to upgrade. So we're going to very much, in the short term here, be sort of quantity over quality. Although I will start to divert more and more troops to the west, see how the situation evolves. We have gotten all the way up to the North Pole. So we're at the point in the north against them aligned, where we're pushing west and east and getting a longer and longer secured border. Down south, we are playing fairly friendly with the elitist and militarist factions, which control the way down the south border. So it's sort of similar along there, although we're being limited by access to industry in some places to expand. And, I think that farmer's at war with someone. We just dealt with, I think it was Roders in here. No, Mercanteers. It was Mercanteers in here that we just dealt with. We are at war with these elitists, which we should also be trying to negotiate and end the hostilities with. We'll see how well that goes. And yeah, we just pushed across the war here with the slavers. We're going to obviously want to continue the war with the slavers. We can't get peace with slavers. Once you're at war with slavers, you're at war with slavers. Construction-wise, things are proceeding at speed. We're trying to solve multiple problems at the same time, so we'll see how well that actually occurs. We want a power plant to get the power positive again. We want a biofuel refinery to make fuel to power the power plant, and the biofuel refineries can eat food, which means we need the agricultural farm facility to feed the biofuel factory. I suspect that Agri Dome facility is not going to be enough to power, or not to fuel the biofuel factory. But the rest of them should be good for a while, and we've got a decent amount of food, so we're not going to burn out on food particularly fast. One of our big limiting factors to continued industrial expansion is more industry. I would like a rail network in our system at some point, but to do that, I would need a lot more metal than we're getting. So I'll have to expand the metal mines at some point. This one, I think, is maxed out based on our current zone level. Yeah. We may want to nationalize this one from the private sector to expand the mine there. We've got lots of potential metal deposits. I just need to set up situations where which we can mine them, although that was pretty worthless. And we do have one rare earth metal. It's not the only metal, rare earth metal. That is the only one. So it's only 3,000 there. We may want to, as a side effect, try to push to... Well, you almost always want to try to push to metal soil filtration. In this case, it'll be solving our rare earth problem, not our metal problem. Although, it will help with metal problem as well. We are now actually a spoiled democracy. Last stream we got a spoiled democracy. We got the first 2 leveled in it. In particular, we want feats 4 and 5. So as we play out, we should be getting closer to those. I think that's enough of a recap. I'm gonna go ahead and cycle the turn here. I've got money, but I don't have any real political power, and the industry is sort of tied up in the existing construction for the moment. So let's cycle the turn, let's see how the situation evolves, especially the situation in the west, and figure out how much we need to panic to deploy more personnel and equipment over there. Alright, I think it's a situation where they're just as out of position as us. Sadly, from looking at it, I don't think we're in a good position to negotiate a ceasefire. Apparently, we already executed a stratagem on them this turn. Cycle the turn. Oh, and given enough time and capacity, I do want to do more mining of artifacts, which short-term is a short-term solution to metal as well, because scrapping ruins does provide metal, fuel, rare earth metals, and if it's on artifacts, often machines and high-tech parts, depending upon the rarity of the artifacts. Watching things move. Nothing particularly concerning yet. Again, most of our borders are relatively safe. We have peace treaties with most of our neighbors. Although the one that we don't have a peace treaty with is the one that is currently thinking. Executing protection front, blah, 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 blah. Think, think, think. Yes. Okay, so we can see more troops arriving. I should start to probably withdraw those forward militia units. There's a few... Oh, we might not be able to make a great withdrawal here if we're getting attacked. We did get attacked. And we got driven back. Okay, so they're going to have a low readiness, so they're going to have a difficulty withdrawing good time, given that circumstance. But yeah, so we see more and more of the troops in that area. We're going to have to bring more troops over. Most of our losses, I think, on this turn is going to be that one defeat against the other major. Round 101. We killed 500 infantry. We lost 400. I think it was all in that one fight. We have 4 decisions. Research completed on the Gauss small arms. Okay, so we can go ahead and rush into rapidly developing. Yeah, we'll do this one. Rapidly developing the new infantry. We're gonna follow that up with RPG.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna revisit the minor city upgrade later. Rest fighting the Syndicate. This is the Reich. The Reich likes us enough that I'm gonna tell them no this time.
Understood.
We kind of want to keep them bouncing back and forth between like 60 and 100. So I got 59 political power. In the West, I don't think we're in a state where we can negotiate a peace. Partially because they don't want it. And partially because our fist profile makes it harder. Doesn't or that's the difficulty that it is, right? So we're getting Difficulty goes up by fist, reduced by mind. So if I wanted to negotiate peace with these guys, I could just do a swing towards mind and away from fist, and that would probably allow us to get to a state where we can negotiate peace. Okay, so for the moment, let's pull back behind the river here to partially delay their advance, put our guys in slightly better position. Try to keep the picket up over here. Just going to move the picket sort of down in that direction. I suppose we want to continue advancing there as well. Get them encircled one to surrender. Older militia civilians are the ones mostly taking the losses.
Requesting backup.
Not enough to get the pocket to surrender. Okay. And the vehicles will continue, motorized stuff will continue moving that direction where possible, and yeah, I think we'll start moving some of the stuff that way as well. Bit of up. When we're at the end of the supply line here, which is a little of a concern. Put troops up here. I might pull the vehicles out, given the fact that we're at the end of the supply line, action point-wise. Because, yeah, the black here is not actually our troops receiving... well, yeah, the troops not... They're receiving their supplies, they're just not receiving ammo. Food is prioritized high enough that we can exist out here. We can't just exactly resupply our ammunition, so... Motorized stuff will pull out. The rest will kind of sit up there until I have the industry to solve the logistics issue. Okay, get that slave to surrender real quickly. There we go. Nice and decisive push there. I used them in the fight, but I'm going to pull the Galactic Republic troops back. Potentially deal with the Major. And mostly leave the militia troops that are here to deal with the slavers. And the one unit of professionals. Oops, how did that work? Wasn't what I intended to do, but it worked reasonable. Just accidentally group moved 2 guys when I meant to only move 1. Again, here's another situation where we probably want to negotiate peace with these guys because I just don't want to be bothered with them. We'll...
Understood.
Throw some money at them. Failed. Rolled 2 short. Bit of a shame. Yeah, we'll take the seat.
Order received.
We're gonna want it sooner or later. And the political power is looking decent at the moment. Okay, so you're peaceful, although the guys behind you are not. Okay, so I have to be a little bit concerned. The farmer, because the farmers, I believe, are at war with the guys that we're at war with. So the farmers lose. They'll be up on our front here. So we don't want to remove the garrison from that front is maybe a good way to think about it. You probably want to maintain a tight picket, just for the inevitability there. Oh, it was actually north of the blob down here. Okay. Get a road across this river. Don't necessarily need to bring it all the way up to the front there, but if I can get it across the river, it'll help a lot with logistics for the troops to the front. And again, I don't necessarily need to... I think these guys will have a better chance of negotiating these with, to be fair. So I don't necessarily need to be super aggressive against them. Although they're probably more higher tech than we are. I'd be surprised. Model Design Council is currently working the flak gun. It will be done next turn. Okay, so I'm not going to worry... or I was thinking of coming in here and doing model design to start immediately on the infantry, but let them finish the flak gun first. That's what we'll do. Push these troops north or push these troops west? Probably west is the way to go. Oh, opening up another front with them. Okay. Maybe not a great thing to be doing right now. And I'm not sure if I have enough guys to cover the first front, but... Did the construction go well? Everything, yes, it all finished. To be fair, the biorefuel jump was from 900 food to 150 food. So it's another 600 food being consumed per turn to be expected. And the agri-dome is only another 400. So I might be making enough food, but I'm going to assume that we're not. So we're going to continue expanding that farm. I think I can only take the farm to level 4. Anyway.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, the capital's still level 4. So we'll cap at that farm. If I need more food after that farm's done, then we can move on to building another farm someplace else. I think we're going to take the bite, and I'm going to take over the metal mine over here. And then now that we own that mine, the very first thing I'm going to do is start upgrading. Make it better. Need more metal coming in. How far west can I move you? Just short of the city, so not very far. Okay, I think that's all the logistical capacity I have for shipping troops west. So that's what we'll do. Again, we'll still filter more and more slowly in there. My goal right now with these guys is to delay until we can solve logistical issues. And or until they push themselves close enough to us that the logistical issues solve themselves. I am like Russia right now. Territorial size is on my side. Maybe not the bullets and the guns, but the land itself is on my side. Don't need any replacements, right? I might need replacements. Let's check what sort of troops do I have in the SHQ. I suspect it's militia waiting to go out. Yeah, you're a militia rifleman, aren't you? Anemone in green. A little hard to tell if you're the militia 300. Let's raise another 300 replacements, and that'll solve the problem. Worst case, I'll have an extra 300 in the HQ that are not mine, or that are mine. Yeah, so that solves that. We're just waiting on shipping to get that out to the front. And then I just upgraded you to level 2. With that amount of scrap, I think it's a little bit of overkill to raise it to level 3. I might want to be mining the uncommons. Did I find a common, or is it just uncommons and the one very rare I've found artifact-wise? Let's check the archaeology overview. Yeah, I've just found uncommons and the one very rare. The very rare one was the one we're just developing.
Affirmative. Copy that.
And yeah, I think for the moment I need to also improve the truck hubs where we can on the western path.
Aye, aye, sir.
So improve you.
Roger
Improve
that.
you. Well, you're level 3, so it's probably not you being the bottleneck. You're already capped out at... Oh, no, you can go up to 5, so we'll take you up to 5.
Yes, sir.
I forget. Truck hubs can usually do like twice zone level. They're one of the things that are exclusion to the normal rule if you're limited by zone level. And I think we're being limited down here on action points. So then the question is, how do I want to deal with that? I think for the moment, the short-term solution I'm going to go with is a supply base.
Sir, yes,
the long-term is set up a colony, or even just have a zone that I can delegate a truck station to over here, away from the capital. Capital produces too much industry. For me, want to have the industry, the capital have a lot of strain. So I need a way to delegate it away. And ideally to someplace that is only making logistics and bureaucracy. So I suppose this zone, if I'm not worried about mining that rare earth metal, this zone would be the one to delegate away to. I'll think about it when this truck station is done. And we got some political power. Do I want to look for artifacts in the new frontier area? Yeah, let's. It'll probably be up here, which isn't super good for us, but might as well roll for it.
Roger that.
Okay, so we know that zone has none. Does this zone have any?
Roger that.
Yeah. Well, this is a way to make sure that, because once you know that a zone doesn't have any, it's nice to know. It would be nice to know if you had already searched the location and had found that result. Right, so don't know if we searched this zone, but that's only got 2. I think we've searched this zone. I'll take a roll of this zone anyway.
Roger that.
And then we don't know because we rolled too low. That's my political power. Another thing I maybe should be doing is starting to do some HR and getting rid of the old terrible leaders. But yeah, I think that's all the troops for the turn. Political power for the turn. Up here, we're kind of waiting for bullets. That's one thing improving the truck stations here and here is going to help a little bit with. Although, really... Oh, one thing I will do. Let's, this is just industry, so it'll be easy to kind of break that crossroad there. Thinking about that one as well. Although I'm not necessarily leaving... No, we'll leave that one in. But that way we know that it goes from here to here to here, up to there. I suppose that actually means I probably want to expand this truck station as well, which I don't own. So one of the biggest jumps I can get right now is actually take ownership of that dump. Or that, well, that dump, yes, that's one way to describe it. That dump of a truck station. And
Copy that.
schedule an upgrade. There we go. Okay, we got decently good logistics in the east. And I played this random card over there already. Okay. Rolling the turn. And yeah, things I think are going well. We're far enough in the winning state at this point that what I need to do is I need to go from having a lot of people in a lot of territory to having those people have effective jobs. So territorial expansion, yeah, it's something we'll do when we have the opportunity, but I think that's going to come really secondary to improving the economy. What I need to be doing. And mainly in the form of the economy, it's more metal, more industry, more bureaucracy. We're feeling a lot less bureaucracy starved than we were before the integrations, but I need to get the bureaucracy done to overtake the enemy with technology, so the militia can catch up. Because what I want to resist doing is I want to resist just falling back on the professionals and sending professionals after professional after professional after professional to deal with the enemy. Because that's what we do most games, to be fair. We got attacked, we held firm. Looks like we didn't get attacked by the majors. Looks like they're mostly doing maneuver. So our units aren't threatened yet. Round 102, we killed 200 infantry, we lost 100. We have 7 decisions. New metal deposit discovered. Couple danger events. Another pheromone device, another protocol android. Okay. Develop upon the infantry, Trooper 2s become Trooper 3s. We're going to go from automatic to Gauss. and then from padded to combat armor.
Aye, aye, sir.
Full
Copy
support to
that.
mitigate that. Full support to
Order
mitigate quack
received.
doctors. And you can see the difference between full support and not full support. It's plus 50 on the roll.
Roger that.
So, if you've got the public power, you always press the button because, like, this was a failure. Well, this was my full support. So without my full support, this would have been a critical failure. So unless you're really overdoing it and getting, like, super critical successes and stuff like that, it's almost always worth doing the support if you can. Do you want democracy at the cost of government? As in, get government. I'm trying to do enforcement here. Sure.
Order received.
Popular journalist. Execute him. I don't know why executing the journalist is moral there. Yeah, I'm at least leaning towards enforcement. We'll do mind enforcement. We'll do imprison them.
Sir, yes, sir.
Accept the journal's demands,
Sir,
which costs
yes,
us
sir.
money, but that's fine. And the construction's going as planned, right? No, there are some delays. So I probably shouldn't be expanding construction. Although I think the delays are mostly logistics and or worker hiring. Yeah, I think take a positions behind the river is going to be the way to go here. And then if I can try to take the non-line territory, at least prove my reconnaissance on the unsecured flank. Push that pocket.
Mission accomplished.
Pocket crumpled. Vehicles driving back to the western front. Coming from this area over here. pretty industry expensive to build on the glacier, so if I can, I want to resist doing too much there. Galactic Republic troops move west. Professional troops move in, or the militia troops move in. Continue. So the slavers. Oh, I can't push into the recently conquered text. Fair enough. And with these guys, we didn't succeed on a roll last turn, but we'll probably succeed this turn. Could always go up to one of the higher bribe amounts as well. Yeah, let's just go for the higher bribe amount. This should put us over 25. So we can see what the proposed peace difficulty will be with them next turn. And then people in the west, again, it's mostly because we have high fist and fairly low mind. So if mind goes up a lot, or if fist comes down, this will become plausible to do. And I'm open to negotiating peace with them. Definitely got other things I would rather be doing rather than fighting their militia, or trying to carry out a delaying action against their troops. That's maybe a good way to think about it. Because I'm way out of position with the militia from the supply situation over there. Let's be off the end of the logistics line here if I'm not seeing a big improvement crossing the river here. Yeah, we're out of logistics. Okay. So, putting the bridge across the river has helped because it helps with projection of the footstep, the foot portion of it. That's fine. And obviously not particularly helpful. So I'm sort of running the same problem everywhere, which is not necessarily that we don't have numbers to be a threat to the other majors, but I don't have the logistics really to be heavily fighting. So if they come a swinging, I need to pull back. Effectively, what's going to happen here? So I need to kind of do what I'm doing in the west, in the east as well, which I need to improve the truck stations along the way, because that's cheaper than trying to put a rail line out for the moment. So truck stations along the way is you, which I need to own. That helps also. As you can see, we're getting 60 truck points here for being level 2. We'd get 105 for having it nationalized. It's going to go from 60 to 105. So that helps with action point throughput.
Copy that.
And then I've sort of got dividing roads here. For the main throughput way, we probably want to go over the top. The mountain range, so it's through you. Again, I don't own this one, do I? No. So we want to nationalize that one. Get more action points, more logistic points.
Affirmative.
Build the truck station as well. Another one that we don't own, that we'd like to own. Nationalize. Big improvements on. And then I don't need to nationalize the one here, because that's actually not heading out to the positions where we're having issues. So yeah, that should help a lot with the East. The nationalizations alone will probably help a lot with the East. Okay, so I've hit the point where we've saturated what can come along that line. Push you a little bit farther along that way. Pull you out for southwest? Yes. Oh, I can pull one out for southwest, okay. And yeah, our proposed piece here, I think, still... we looked at it earlier, I think, in the turn. Still a no-go. Yeah, we need a 103 on our D100. I don't think we can roll 103 on a D100. I'm going to clean up some of the roads down here we just don't need. So don't need that connector, don't need that connector. I do kind of want that one. And we got a bunch of construction under progress, so we want to see some of that finish up, and I've added more, which is maybe not going to help out. Yeah, we do apparently need the food, so it's a good thing we're doing the Agri-Dome. I've actually got more reservists than I probably need, so let's colonize to drop the reservist count by like half.
Sir, yes, sir.
Into the capital. We're going to hold on to the colonists until I think I've got enough to set up a colony. It'd be nice to have the metal mine here. I may need a truck station somewhere in here at some point to push westward. And we saw there's a city around here, so if we can actually push to that city, that'll solve the supply situation on the very front. Okay, I think that is that turn. Mostly. And again, we're still winning. We're not advancing as much as we were previously, which does make sense with what's going on. There's no easy population centers to integrate into the Empire. Put these guys on the road, so when the time comes to push them west, they'll be easier to push west by the strategic redeployment. And I'm a little bit tempted to sell fuel. It's quite valuable. Yeah, let's sell like 1,000 fuel. Make it for all the money I'm spending recently.
Yes, sir.
Just double the treasury. There we go. And then we cycle the turn. So next turn we'll have an idea of what we need role-wise to negotiate the guys in the east. We are seeing indications that our militia forces are inadequate to fight current generation major armies, professional major armies. So, if I seriously want to fight the people in the east and or the west, I probably need to be getting professional troops deployed from modern era equipment. The new third generation infantry should be on par, if actually maybe a little bit better than their current stuff. But the militia, you can see the confeds there first are first generation troops. So they're like 2 generations out of date, and it shows when the fighting starts. Round 103, we killed 800 infantry, 10 motorized, 10 tanks. In exchange, we lost 1,300 infantry, 10 guns, 10 motorized. We have 3 decisions. Our mining assets are level 15, which is higher than what we promised. So we did keep a promise that I forgot about, so it's a good thing we kept it. Ooh. Power plant. Automated power plant. Most of this is pretty unnecessary. I got a proposed piece, okay. Minor virtue crisis. Sir, a serious crisis has developed during a tense security operation. A celebrated humanitarian was killed by security forces. Official statements call it tragic error, but the nation mourns as doubt turns to quiet anger. Case was taken on a life of its own. It's resonating with public opinion due to the demagogue that have long criticized the lack of change in the political system. Inertia breeds disaster. The visuals and symbolic nature of this incident is high, and consequences will be very real for national cohesion and trust in each other. Decry the foreign manipulation. Take the blame yourself and whitewash the nation. Declare we can surmount this setback. So all these are causing virtue decline. How bad is a little bit open to interpretation? And our people want us to either do first or third. Got the political power, I'm tempted to do first. I can eat a little bit of autocracy without it being a real issue, and the fist isn't too bad. Use money to deal with that issue. Zone upgrade. Okay, so I've got the toss down here. Do I upgrade the zone, or do I decry the foreign manipulation? And I gotta negotiate peace, or at least look to see if I can negotiate the peace. I suppose I should do first, because the difficulty of that's gonna get higher. Okay, so I am unable to. Also, one thing that does make this harder is you need a minimum of 25 to roll it. But the difficulty is based on the difference between your relations and the AI's intentions. So the AI that are at war with us, I think, actually want the intend for relations to be 0. So actually, the higher I get the opinion of them, the harder it is to negotiate peace. So yeah, I wanted to go for negotiate peace. Really, I gotta go for the bottom one. For the moment, I think we can just attrition the enemy. We're gonna go the top one here.
Understood.
Virtue score reduced by 10. Public announced that on all Wood continents, the horrors are not born from within, but sown by all our enemies. Relations with other regimes have decreased. Okay, so that was potentially the concern there. So we've mitigated our virtue decline at the cost of making other regimes like us less. Well, that's maybe actually made it easier to negotiate that proposal of peace with them. Again, because the math says they're a little bit easier. Not a big jump. It was only 8%. Sort of logic with them. There is a 3% chance this results in peace. I'll roll a 3% roll. Critical fail. Piss them off. Knock them down to 23, so we'll have to do something to raise opinion to make more rolls. Construction-wise, I'm presuming we had delays again. Truck station done. Truck station done. Supply base done. The supply base I'm going to immediately queue another upgrade for.
Yes, sir.
That's everything that finished. Yes. Lots of stuff did proceed at speed, although there's a couple of things that were slowed. Most of the things that were slowed should finish next turn if they can continue their current partial speed. Okay, again, pushing as many of our troops west as I can. Southwest has got to really wait until we get that supply base really applied, but I think the supply base should help with the Southwest. here in the northwest. Got the industry. It's going to be tempting to build roads to support advancing. Okay, I push the bottom of the pocket in a bit.
Mission
Yeah,
accomplished.
okay. I have a suspicion the slavers are really low on troops. I would not be surprised. Yeah, I would not be surprised if that's the last of the slaver troops.
Enemy down.
That is the last of the slaver troops. The slavers will technically disband as a nation next turn.
Mission accomplished.
Okay, those marauders dealt with. And yeah, we worked out we don't really have the ability to actually successfully counterattack here. So we're just going to be stalling with mounds of meat. We'll try to keep them from encircling us. I guess given the circumstance here, let's at least pull back up the supply corridor. Smidge. Field road, cross the river. Through the pass there to provide supplies to these guys. And yeah, I think that's going to be the state of affairs. Org-wise, that model design's coming along real fast. 72% done in one turn, so they should be done improving the infantry on the next turn. And then we could follow up with the machine gun. We don't have the field testing on the machine gun, so it's not going to be particularly great machine gun improvement other than the technological improvements. Although I suppose that is better than nothing. Yeah, I suppose I've only really designed recon buggies and tanks. Although we probably could do an improvement on the recon buggy. Might hold off until we get polymer armor. It's a little way to polymer armor. Yeah, RPGs. So we'll do machine guns, and then when the RPGs are done, we'll probably try to do the bazooka upgrade as well. Probably, if we get another opportunity for another council, we'll pick up Staff Council, so I can try to find Grenadiers. Or Motorized Grenadiers or something like that. Construction, I think we'll leave as is. Victory overview, I think we're still technically growing. I think we're up to 33.5 now. Push you west. Okay, don't think I'm in a position to fight you. Maybe next turn. And then I suppose I am in a position to fight these guys, but we have, again, we're having bullet issues. That might improve on the next turn. Although, unlike East, where it was nationalizing a bunch of truck hubs, West is a little bit more finicky because it was improving truck hubs. Although that's one of them, so that should help a little bit out. Is that the other one? That was the other one. That'll help up here. Mainly in capacity. It's not going to necessarily help in range. Although, effectively doubling capacity increases range by 50%. Not because it actually increases action points, but because then you can accelerate, except having half the penalty, being penalized 50% to get the same amount. Although, yeah, no, I'm going to have to build another truck station up here to get more range, I suspect. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This place has only got one recycling thing, so I'm not too worried if we're going to take a little bit of penalty. So I'll go out to... Where does it cross, like, 50? Although I still want it in the zone, so we'll do it in the last one of the zone for the road split, so we'll put it here. You are going to be a supply base.
Copy that.
Okay, before I get too carried away, we're getting a little bit of net metal and industry, so shouldn't be too worried about building. Although that's only 300, so I could definitely outbuild 300 pretty easily. And we didn't take the capital improvement, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, bit of a shame. But that was to do... Try to make it the virtue going down too fast. We do want it high. We ideally want it 60 to 70. 40 is a bit low. Next political system level in a turn. Although, again, until I get up to militia ready to serve permanent militancy, we're not... I want these 2 feats. I'm not too worried about the other ones, although the last one isn't too bad. Let's cycle the turn. At the end of this end turn, we're going to go ahead and put the first part break of the stream in. So if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have another part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. We're going to take a short break here, so I can get up, stretch the legs, sip some tea before we get back into recording the next one. We'll try to get the ads out of the way as well. Get one of the ads out of the way. AI's thinking. East, I think, was relatively safe. We'll see if we see any real motion on the west there. Okay, getting attacked. Again, the enemy showing off that the confeds, the old confeds, are just out of date. Oof, whole unit completely destroyed there. If I find a way to negotiate peace, I might just take the time to just delete all the confeds. All the out-of-date militia probably should go. If I can find the time to get them back to the cities and disbanded. I'll encourage the militia to raise new troops of more appropriate quality. Okay, round 104. Over the Interran, we killed 100 infantry, 10 guns, 10 motorized. In exchange for it, we lost 1,200 infantry, showing that the confeds are obsolete and almost more of a liability than anything. Although they do still provide reconnaissance, so eyes and ears battalions. Not particularly useful for fighting, but for seeing where the enemy is. And they are somewhat useful. We'll be picking up in the next part in round 104 with 11 decisions. So until then, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.